The U.S. president vented his fury with the prime minister hours after last week's announcement on the Chinese tech firm. Donald Trump was apoplectic with Boris Johnson over the prime minister's decision to give the green light to Huawei having a role in the UK 5G mobile phone networks, it was claimed. The U.S. president vented his fury with the prime minister hours after last week's announcement on the Chinese tech firm, according to the Financial Times. In an earlier phone call ahead of the decision, Mr. Trump had urged Mr. Johnson not to go ahead with the move because of fears over Huawei's links to the Beijing government and the potential for China to use the foothold for espionage. But the Prime Minister had ignored the president's lobbying by giving the green light to Huawei. Despite UK intelligence officials classifying the Chinese firm as a high-risk vendor, the UK government went ahead because to choose another manufacturer would have set back the country's 5G infrastructure by several years. Very difficult phone call. The final decision was based on a calculated risk that by restricting Huawei's role in UK 5G to a non-core role, away from data retention and encryption and secure sites, and limiting its share in the market to 35%, or it could mitigate the security implications. To make matters worse, UK officials only informed their US counterparts of the go-ahead minutes after it was publicly announced last week. At the time, both the White House and Downing Street issued brief statements announcing that the two leaders had spoken by telephone about the decision. But according to UK and US officials familiar with the phone call quoted by the FT, Mr. Trump was apoplectic and expressed his views in livid terms. The exchange was very difficult and British officials were taken aback by the president's language, according to the report. Implications for trade deal. The extent of Mr. Trump's rage, on the day that he unveiled his Middle East peace plan, shows how vehemently opposed the U.S. administration is towards Huawei, which even UK officials suspect could be involved in spying. The row could also have implications for Mr. Johnson's attempts to secure a post-Brexit free trade deal with the US. The official readout of the call from the White House, published last week, said, "Today, President Donald J. Trump spoke with Prime Minister Boris Johnson of the United Kingdom. The two leaders discussed critical regional and bilateral issues, including telecommunications security." Receive more analysis from Hugo G. Whitey every weekday lunchtime by signing up to the Eye on Politics newsletter here. Meanwhile, Downing Street's account said, the Prime Minister underlined the importance of like-minded countries working together to diversify the market and break the dominance of a small number of companies. Thomas Wright, an expert on US-Europe relations at the Brookings Institution, told the FT, "To me the significance of the phone call is that it shows that Trump is very engaged and very upset and that this is not going to blow over and it will have implications if not on Five Eyes then on trade talks."